to kick off Swan. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna edit that out because I'm high and I lost myself. Oh, all right. So Doc. Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to another episode of Blunt Impact. This week we are covering the Tuesday, March 30th edition of Impact Wrestling. I am joined, of course, by my co-host, the three-time baby-making champion of the world, one half of the Pot Heels. This is Ness. Ness, how are you feeling, brother?
Feeling mighty fine on this lovely Wednesday evening. True Heels, what is the deal? Back for another action-packed episode of Blunt Impact, covering Impact Wrestling. You know how we do. Here with Mary Jane, too, of course.
Of course. me and Ness are here, joined by Mary Jane, but we are also joined by a special guest. Some people like to call him the True Heel Draw. We needed this man desperately on Blunt Impact. We needed that rub, that True Heel Josh Marrera rub. Everybody, meet Josh. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, anytime. We're gonna keep it transparent. Josh has been telling me he wanted to get on for like a month already. I just smoke weed and forget, but I finally got him on. we're here. Josh is not a Mary Jane partaker on the occasion, but that's here and there. Me and Ness are the guys when it comes to the Mary Jane. So before we get into this action-packed episode, we want to remind everybody at home, please hit those thumbs up, share it with your grandma on the island, share it with your uncle in Rikers Island, whoever got internet access, just share it with them. Comment, tell us what you like, what you don't like. If you think you don't like Josh's attitude, put it in the comments. And of course,
and he'll let you know. He'll let you know
that he doesn't care about your feelings. But no, it's always a good time here. So please subscribe, get all that other content. We provide it all. Want to update everybody. Impact Wrestling will be on Thursdays soon. I want to say 3 weeks, right? The 22nd?
No, yeah. I think it's next week, right? I thought it was the 8th.
But before we get into it, we are going to light on Mary Jane. It's just me and Ness lighting up. Josh, you can flick your imaginary lighter. Everybody at home watching with us, whatever you got ready, rolled up, joints, blunts, pipes, whatever. We encourage you guys to light up with us. Ness, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
All right, we're going to start at 3, 2, 1.
These guys.
Always in sync.
Professional pot heels.
Yes, professional pot heels. Professional productive pot heels. We are triple P's. So of course, we get the recap of what happened last week's Impact episode. We also get D'Lo Brown and Matt Shrike on commentary. I will say, this was the first week I thought to myself, D'Lo, you're killing me, bro. You are killing me. Havoc and Nevaeh start off this evening against Fire and Flavor in a non-title match. Match was decent, back and forth, nothing really crazy. Fire and Flavor win the match. They get the pin on Havoc. God bless Kiera Hogan. Nevaeh looks like she's over it. I'm over it. And just when I was about to say, fuck this, I'm over it, Nevaeh turns heel. She finally puts hands on Havoc, signifying the split. Finally, we've seen it. Me and Ness have been talking about it for weeks. Josh, we'll start off with you. How'd you feel about the match, and how'd you feel about Nevaeh's heel turn?
I thought the match was decent. It wasn't nothing crazy. Their match for the titles before that, it was better. But that turn was like so predictable though. Like I can't even lie about that. Especially like when she went in to hit her, she moved like so fucking slow. I was like, yeah, they made that shit so obvious.
What about you, Ness? How'd you feel about this?
Well, one of my favorite parts was Kiera Hogan walking to the ring and then walking out of the ring after the match was over because it was just shaking every which way. But yeah, the actual match, it was like you said, it was decent. Like you said, we've been back and forth with, all right, is Nevaeh over Havoc? All right, now they're back together. Now it's like, now is to the point where it's obviously it's done, it's over. It was predictable somewhat because like they were focusing on them way too much after the match was over. You know, I don't have a problem with it, but it was like you could see it coming. Now we just got to see where it goes. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't really know like how I feel about Nevaeh on her own. I already know what Havoc can do. She's a fucking beast. I don't know. I just don't see Nevaeh like amounting to much by herself. I don't know. I could be wrong about that though.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in the next coming weeks how they change her presentation. Maybe they'll give her something interesting to spark a little interest, but we'll see. Next up, we have a nice little thread throughout the night concerning the knockouts in the locker room. We start off with a Deonna Purrazzo interview. She's with Susan. Of course, she puts herself over. She's beating all these legends or whatever. Susan starts talking shit about Jazz. Jazz comes out of nowhere and handles that ass, hits her with a trash can, knocks her out. We see Jazz approach Tommy Dreamer afterwards, and she wants a match with Deonna Purrazzo. He's more than happy to oblige, but you know there needs to be something at stake. Deonna's putting up her title. He wants Jazz to put something up, and Jazz says, "I'll put up my career." So it looks like this is most likely the swan song for Jazz. But after that, Dreamer for Hardcore Justice books a knockouts match. It is a gauntlet or a multi-woman hardcore scramble match to be #1 contender to the Impact Knockouts Championship. Jordan Grace loves this. Susan really doesn't like this. She's struggling to comprehend it. She's struggling to keep herself sane because he asked about Su Yung. So I feel like she's cracking under the surface a little bit. She looks like shit. So yeah, maybe she is cracking a little bit. She's either cracking or smoking crack. Is one of the other. Hopefully not the latter. But Alicia doesn't understand the rules because she's in Boston. Rosemary, of course, she's creepy. She's ready to use whatever she can get her hands on to win this match. So it looks like at Hardcore Justice, we might have a fun little knockouts match. So just what do you think about this this thread of segments, the shine that the knockouts are getting early on this show? And I guess we could predict who wins out of Deonna versus Jazz and who wins this knockouts match, this scramble match. We'll start with you, Ness.
Oh man, I want to say Deonna retains. Yeah, I'd say Deonna retains. I really don't see Jazz getting the title. I wouldn't mind it if it happens. Let her be transitional. Have a little short reign, like a month or two reign. Something to like just show her some appreciation or something like that. If they go that route, but Deonna's beaten her multiple times. Maybe I don't know who else. Who else can Deonna face at this point? She ran through the whole roster. The knockouts hardcore match though, that's definitely gonna be something to see. Another point of that actually, which I'm gonna talk about real quick. Havoc was happy about that, so that might be her chance to get some payback on Nevaeh, and I know she's gonna put her through some shit too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that match.
What about you, Josh? How you feel?
I think it's just a way to write Jazz off. Like don't see her winning when it comes to that. I think Deonna is gonna have a longer reign. But I'm fine with the match. Like that's the way that they're gonna, that's the way that they're gonna, somewhat retire her. I'm fine with that. as for the hardcore match, I mean, that's gonna be pretty interesting because you really don't see that a lot with the women. So, I mean, we'll see what happens from there.
Especially with the Jordan Grace, Rosemary, Tennille Dashwood dynamic. Just a lot of different talent in that match. We make it for a fun match. And Jazz, I think this is the way she wants to go out, man, in her in-ring career. She's close with Tommy Dreamer. Maybe Impact is gonna, she has a wrestling school. Impact to hook her up with like a backstage producer role for the women, and she can mentor the women backstage while keeping her school. Everybody wins. Hopefully, this is the route for Jazz because definitely need her around in wrestling. Impact especially.
Yeah, because originally last year she retired last year. I think it was like last August she retired. She was gonna do like a long tour to retire, but then when all this shit happened, she lost a lot of her bookings, like everyone else. So to see her back, I mean, I thought it was pretty nice because I know for a fact the way that she is, I know that's not the way that she wanted to end things.
Makes sense, and I'm happy she got that.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to talk about Sami Callihan versus Larry D of Triple XL. Slow match, but physical. They hit each other hard. Maybe a little too long, but it wasn't terrible.
Maybe.
All right. This match was too long, but it wasn't terrible. Sami got something out of Larry. After the match, Sami wins. Him fighting like a babyface is still weird to me. But AC attacks after the match. And no Trey. Trey does not make the save. And Sami's basically laughing in the middle of the ring after the beatdown. Sami approaches Trey backstage. Listen, you didn't return the favor. I kind of helped you last week. In Sami fashion, aggressive. Trey's anger. He wants to teach him how to harness that anger. So he wants a tag match next week, and he wants Trey as his partner against Triple XL. And Trey hit him with the hell nah. So we'll see what happens. It might be a handicap match. Maybe Trey comes out sooner or later. But I'm actually intrigued now. Like last week finally got me into it, and now they're keeping it going. So we'll see what happens next week. Josh, how do you feel about this angle?
I mean, I kind of like it, to be honest. There's something for Trey. I mean, he really needed something after coming back because he's by himself. So I think this is a nice transition for him to have a nice singles run. As for him pairing up with Callihan, I mean, it does make things interesting when it comes to that. As for the match, as in for Callahan's match, I mean, yeah, it really did go. It did go long. There was even a commercial break. Like, what the fuck? When I saw it, I was like, who the fuck is the Sloppy Joe motherfucker? Like, because I was confused at first. So I didn't know what was going on. And then I was like, oh, that's Ace's partner. Oops.
Who's this manwich eating motherfucker on my screen?
That's exactly what he looked like.
Hungry man popping in the microwave ass motherfucker. No, Ness. What's your feelings about this match and angle?
I already know I'm cool with the angle. I thought I was off when they had the match, but I should have known no mind Sami Callihan is not normal. So that just made him want to like, oh yeah, I've got to bring out this passion in Trey, this passion. He really meant anger, because that's really all he was saying. Like, you just got to get mad. But the match, it was what it was. It definitely went too long. It was all right, but it just went too long for fucking Sami Callihan to be facing Larry D of all fucking people. Yeah, Trey's acting like he don't fuck with the move right now, but he'll more than likely come around next week. So, or I'm hoping at least. I definitely want to see how they mesh together tag team wise.
Yeah, it should be interesting. So we'll see more of that next week, probably. Next up, we see FinJuice in New Japan with the Impact Tag Team Championships, and we see a couple of highlights. If you're familiar with FinJuice, you know they're a pretty solid tag team. They're getting better with their chemistry. They're still young in their tag team life, so the accomplishments that they already have, pretty dope. Don Callis, Kenny Omega, and the Good Brothers are sitting backstage, and they are not impressed. Well, Kenny's wowed, sarcastically. He's impressed. But yeah, the Good Bros, they're not impressed. They're not having this shit. Callis tries to show them the video that we'll talk about throughout this fucking show. He tries to show them the one-winged angel vignette from last
The one-winged angel. The one-winged angel.
One-winged angel. Yeah. He keeps trying to show them that. The Good Brothers seen the shit like 9 times already, just today. They're not having it anymore. But Callis implies that they have really nothing to offer anymore. They're not even the tag team champions anymore. This isn't a friend's business. This is do what you got to do for yourself business, Then we pop up at fucking Swingers Palace.
My best favorite time of the
Impact Wrestling.
Fucking week.
The best place in Impact Wrestling, backstage, and who knows where. Johnny Bravo has to piss. He's been in the table all day. Swingers not having it. Just gives him a solo cup. Pissing that, daddy. Omega Omega and Callis show up surprisingly, and they heard, Swingers taking action on Rebellion matches. What's the action looking like? What's the odds looking like for Omega versus Swan? It's even, daddy. It's looking like 1-1. 1-1. Let me show you this video of the one-winged angel. One-winged angel. Oh shit, the odds just went up, daddy. So Callis puts up, I want to get it right, 20K. Puts 20K on Omega. So a lot to digest there. But then after that, we see Willie Mack, and he is approached by Don Callis backstage. He smells the Willie Mack's weed stash. He thought it was dip. Don't know what dip is. That is clearly a weed stash. If you're a millennial, that's a weed stash. Showing the one-winged angel video to Willie Mack. Maybe you should watch this so you can talk some sense into your boy. Kenny can't wait. Don Callis says Kenny can't wait to kick out of Rich Swan's finisher. It is a beautiful finisher, but he can't wait to kick out of it. If Rich Swan says, if you were my boss, I'd smack the Ray-Bans off your face. Don gets crazy. Oh yeah, for the next couple of hours, then I won't be your boss. Starts taking off his shit, and he baits him. In comes the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega to jump him and Willie Mack. But Eddie Edwards comes and makes a save. They will have a 3-on-3 trios tag team match next week against each other. But just good shit throughout all of these segments. The Swingers Palace, of course, I think is gold. Willie Mack with the weed stash. I got that. Or maybe I'm just high and I'm assuming shit. And Don Callis and the Good Brothers just making fun of Vin Juice. Just good shit all around. Ness, we'll start with you. How'd you feel about all this?
I'm just going to sum it up. It was all great.
All
right, Josh.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I enjoyed it myself. They usually Impact, like their backstage segments. They're usually not bad. It's usually a lot better than Raw. So
hell yeah,
it's a lot better than Raw. So it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
Next up, we got a tag team match. It is TJP and Josh Alexander versus the X Division champion Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. What I thought was a solid tag match. Started off like a basic tag match, and then it got a little hot towards the end. Miscommunications between TJP and Josh Alexander throughout the match, but a blind tag at the end from TJP to hit the Mamba Splash on Ace Austin. He goes for the pin, but Josh Alexander pushes him off and goes for the pin himself. Didn't realize that he was tagged. The ref confirms that there was a tag made. As Josh is bitching and moaning and getting to the corner and TJP's confused, Ace Austin rolls him up for the 1-2-3. I like this, teasing the tension between TJP, Josh Alexander, while keeping Ace Austin and Fulton in there too. I still think I'm still fucking keen on that Ultimate X match, but we'll see what happens with only a couple weeks left going. So, what'd you think about the match?
The match was great, in my opinion. It was definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. The power of Madman Fulton meeting with the power of Josh Alexander, the speed and agility of TJP meeting with the speed and agility of Ace Austin. You know, it was decent. I like the finish too because clearly these guys aren't a tag team. They don't like each other. So it's really not about like the tag match. It's about what they can bring into Impact Wrestling of themselves. So like they were trying to one up each other. You know what I'm saying? So I hate roll ups. I only really like roll ups when heels use them. I hate when face use roll ups. But this was a perfect situation for Ace Austin to use a roll up because like towards the stretch of the end of the match, he was getting whooped on. So he needed to get that. He needed to get that quick line. Let me get the fuck up out of here. So he got it.
What about you, Josh? How'd you feel about this?
Match wasn't bad. It's just, it's kind of hard to watch because I just don't like TJP, to be honest with you. So it's just hard to watch.
I know the feeling, honestly, because I think. All right, do you think he's a good wrestler? You just don't like him.
Pretty much, like.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's just that I don't want to say that I know him personally, but I've seen him before. He just has that cocky attitude, and it's not even like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are like that, but it's more so with him. It's like you get that feeling that sometimes he's just ungrateful, so it's kind of hard to watch him in the ring knowing how much of a piece of shit he really is in real life. So I think that's just for me. I'm just saying.
TJ piece of shit. That's his new name.
That's a good one.
All right. So before we get into the main event and pretty much the reason for this episode, we're gonna touch on a few segments that were just going throughout the night. Feel free to chime in if you have any thoughts. We have Rohit Raju approaching Hernandez backstage. He wants to start the Latin Indian exchange. He's trying to be his partner. But Hernandez says, no money, no talking. Get the step in, no cash in your hands, boy. This was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Latin Indian exchange. Yeah. I'm with it. Are you guys with it?
That shit was. I was with the promo. I don't know about the team.
I'm with the team. We have a teaser where it's kind of like a Hangman, I guess. You have to guess the letters, and nice little graphic. Rumors are it's Taylor Wilde making her return to Impact Wrestling. Are you guys excited for that? I think they could use another solid hand in the division.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I think that would be a good move.
What about you, Ness?
Yeah, they definitely need more people. I mean, more women in Impact. It's kind of like
especially the women because usually because Impact usually has a strong they have a strong women's division. It's not bad right now. It's still not bad. It's just that I think they're a little short-handed.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, right, Deonna pretty much has. It feels like she's beaten everybody.
She has.
It feels like it. Besides the heels, which she's obviously not going to face. I mean, who else is there? Like, she's already beaten Jordan how many times already? It's really nobody else right now.
Yeah, she has really ran through the roster. I think they need, like you said, they're a solid roster, but they need more depth. They don't have enough depth, especially with a tag team.
That's what it is, yeah.
So they the more female talent that they sign, the better.
Next up, to chime in on that, like I think that's the only you could say issue with Impact right now is like depth in all their divisions. To be honest with you, because even with the tag team belts, that's why these guys can hold the belts all the way in Japan. Because there's really no tag team. There's really no other teams right now.
I think like the weak part of like Impact's presentation used to be their production, and their production really stepped up like in the last, I want to say since the pandemic like started, their production really stepped up. So the only real down on them is their depth, you know. But they're doing it. They're doing a decent job building stars. It's just once they build the stars, do those stars stay? So only a handful of guys stay. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have a paid ad. We got Tony Khan, of course, with Tony Schiavone, and Khan must have watched Scarface and Wolf of Wall Street back to back, and got an 8-ball from Drunk Guy JJ, and did the whole 8-ball before he did this promo. And he puts over the card, of course, for Dynamite. Says Kenny's the best in the world, but he's a huge pain in the ass. The wrestling world is his. He is the forbidden door. All bookings go through his office. But while he's saying this, his eyes are popping out of his head through his fucking heart-shaped glasses. He looks like a Middle Eastern Bradley Cooper in Hangover 2. Great shit. Told you we were getting a different Tony Khan. He's back to the cocky piece of shit Tony Khan, but amped up to 11. I'm here for it. Josh, how do you feel about these paid ads? How'd you feel about this?
They're fucking great, to be honest. That's like one of the best parts of Impact, to be honest. He's actually him on camera is actually way better than I expected, to be honest, in general.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected him to adapt to the camera this fast,
well,
I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, and I also like the fact that he's been doing it for Impact, and he doesn't show his face like on Dynamite. Like I know he had one time to the tribute, which is understandable. But besides that, I mean, you don't see him on Dynamite. I mean, you see him every week on Impact.
Yeah, well, but that's good though, because you can't say the owner's taking up, TV time and shit. He's out there leaning credibility to another company because he's working for the fucking Impact. You know what I mean?
And it's also not only that, but then also, he's not creating a character on Dynamite that everyone's gonna focus on another owner being another character on the show.
Sure.
So it takes away from that as well.
In essence, he really creates his own lane as being the owner on another show that's a piece of shit, always running down the show that he's putting his ads on. I don't think we've ever seen that, honestly, on wrestling. I've never seen that. So he really created his own on-screen character.
Like technically it's never been done because usually when the companies work together, they're working together. So it wouldn't really work out anyway. I think this way makes more sense because they're technically they're not using a lot of talent each side. They're not really using a lot of people. Like you only see the Good Brothers show up on Dynamite, and then you show like you saw Private Party show up on Impact, but then after that is it's not really much after that.
It's a slow burn. I think it's gonna be a slow burn. As the great Romeo Anthony Colon says, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We also have a Brian Myers versus Suicide match. Whatever. The roster cut. Whatever. I'm only interested in a Matt Cardona versus Brian Myers match because I think they could tell a good story. And
I don't even want to see that, but I want to see that. Because,
yeah, me too. And honestly, Myers, he's actually not a bad guy. And that's why I like seeing him on TV every week. He's really not a bad guy. Like a lot of the wrestlers you see in the tri-state area, he's helped a lot because he helps with the school as well in Long Island. So I'm happy that he's getting his time on TV. It's just, do I care about his matches? Not really, to be honest with you. But I mean, I'm glad they're doing something with him because he does bring, even behind the scenes, whatever it is, he does bring value to the show.
He definitely has experience, and he brings a lot, regardless of his lariat, the roster cut.
That's shit.
Ness, do you even have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in the match, but him versus Cardona, that's not happening yet, or at all.
Yeah, because I should mention that he declined the challenge after the match that Cardona issued last week. So, whatever.
We'll see them like make it official next week somehow.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump him, and then he's like, you know what? I have none for your shit. Let's have this match.
Pretty cool.
Take his eye patch off.
That's gonna happen.
All right. So the main reason why this episode is special is because this is the episode that will feature James Storm 1000th match on Impact Wrestling.
And you know what? We're gonna call this episode 1000 Blunts.
1000 blunts, because he's also had 1000 beers. But I'm sure the Cowboys had 1000 blunts.
1000 blunts and beers.
Yes, we should have lit that up before. You know what? I still got a roach. I'm lighting this roach for you, Cowboy.
I don't, because I smoked that shit, but it was in your name, sir.
So we have an interview early in the night, and Cowboys getting interviewed by, I believe, G and Ness, and he's dedicating this whole night to Bob Ryder, who had recently passed away not too long ago. And Bob Ryder is the guy that basically pushed and pushed and pushed to get him and Big Cat Chris Harris in as the tag team America's Most Wanted. And they finally got their shot because Bob Ryder's persistence. And here he is. Here's James Storm, man. 1000 matches at Impact. Shit felt real. Straight from the heart. It was a really good promo. People like to say that, I guess, James Storm like isn't really a strong promo, but this was like really, really solid shit. We see of course, Chris Sabin got his back. Jake Something got his back going to the ring later on. But we get the return of Big Cat Chris Harris on screen. They look face to face. They give each other a hug. That is the crew going to the ring later. After this, we also see a Violent by Design promo. Young says 1000 matches means he's too far gone in the disease. He is uncurable. He has a sickness, and Young is going to show that the world belongs to them. Good, solid, usual Violent by Design shit. Everybody looking intense. This match was good, though. Eric Young, James Storm. Physical match. Young dominated mostly, but it turned into a good back and forth match. I like there wasn't really too much interference. It's basically a one-on-one match until the end. We have a crazy brawl outside, a little distraction. I enjoyed it. It was a good way to cap off the episode. Ness, what'd you think about this?
Yeah, man. James Storm, basically a TNA Impact Hall of Famer whenever the time comes, legend, whatever you want to call him. And it just was perfect that EY was the man, to take the pin on his 1000th match. These guys go way back. They're pretty much pillars of Impact when it was TNA. So that's historic in itself. But yeah, man, it was nice. It was a nice way to close out the show. Eric Young, I think he tore his ACL.
Really?
From that match. Yeah. Apparently, I seen one. I think it was Dirt Sheet Radio. Cheap plug.
Yeah. Yeah. I know he. I don't know if it's from the tapings or not, but he does get injured. So I don't know, because usually Impact, they film. I think usually 4 episodes, I believe. They usually do the cycles.
Yeah.
So I don't watching the match. I didn't see anything. He didn't look hurt. He didn't look injured. He didn't. So I don't know if it's this or an upcoming taping, but he does. He's gonna be out for about 6 to 9 months.
That's definitely a blow.
It is, but you know what? He don't got it. If he can. Let him rest now. Exactly. Yeah. He just manage him. Just don't do anything. You can just manage as long as he can just show up on TV. Don't have him off. Don't have him off the show if he can be there.
I'm sure they'll find a way. Josh, how do you feel about Violent by Design, and how do you feel about the match?
The match itself, I thought, to be honest, it was the best match of the night. I really enjoyed it. It was really nice back and forth. As for the group, it really feels like insanity. It has that feel, but he's doing it his way. So he has bits and pieces of it, but it's not but I get that vibe from that. As for Chris Harris coming back, that was a nice surprise, to be honest, because I know little by little, I know he's looking to come back into the wrestling industry because he's actually doing an upcoming appearance in Queens in May. On I think May 8th, he's doing a meet and greet for one of my guys that I know that's bringing him to the store. So in a way I was surprised seeing him, but I was like, that's his way of I think that's his way of coming back into the wrestling industry. So that was a nice surprise. But the match overall, I thought, yeah, like I said, I thought it was the best match of the night.
Yeah, definitely. Solid action throughout the night, but this was by far the best match of the night. So that was a good episode of Impact. Good shit with Omega, Callis, and the Good Bros. Good dedication to Cowboys' career and Impact. Just solid shit all around. I enjoyed it. Impact sees, they put out solid shows every week. That's all you could ask for. Sometimes they're not spectacular. Sometimes they're not great, but at least they're usually solid. And that's more than we could say for a few other companies out there.
The segments, if the matches aren't good, the segments are A1.
Yeah. At least we have good segments and good like storyline threads. At least they try to keep shit flowing along. So Josh, we want to thank you for appearing, bringing the eyes to Blunt Impact.
Yeah, bump the budget. Bump the budget, SP3. We're going to get all the views for this one. True draw.
Yeah.
We upgraded. We going top shelf. Now, Josh, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at jampunk321 and same on Twitter as well.
And 3-time baby making champion Ness, where can we find you at?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at skinny_Kravitz. You can follow me on Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. And you can catch me right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. One half of Blunt Impact with my man Chris G. We form the Pot Heels. Shake the ropes. You can catch me on Joints and Jabronis with Chris G again, also. One half of Review of Honor with my man the Stat King, the man of 1,004 numbers, where we review everything that happens in the Ring of Honor ring, the Round Table Rebel. I'm on the round tables, and you can hear my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
Yeah. And you can find me at True Hill Chris G. You can also see me here, of course, on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Blunt Impact and Joints and Jabronis. My man, the 3-time baby making champion Ness. Wednesday Night Warriors for the time being with Romeo Anthony Colon, my brother from another Puerto Rican mother. And
it's coming. Yeah,
it's coming. That troll angle will be making an appearance soon. You got to see what's going on with NXT.
You got to watch NXT now, Josh, or just watch us.
No, I think I'm still gonna skip NXT on purpose.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm forced to watch it, unfortunately. Of course, you can hear me on True Toxicity every once in a while, where you can hear Ness's illustrious voice. So that's going to be it for this episode of Blunt Impact. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll be back next week. Of course, everybody have a great week. Peace out.